Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So, I want to talk about November 2024. This month is going to be it's going to be kind of crazy. We all know it. It's been so telegraphed and talked about and televised for, gosh, so long.
It has been, and we've been waiting for so long. And there's a lot of star seeds out there who've been preparing for this time too. That's what I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll share with you. I mean, myself personally, I've had some pretty incredible experiences lately, and I doubt that I'm unique in that. I think a lot of us are opening up, our perceptions are opening up to so much more of the reality at this point in time than we've ever had access to before, the reality beyond the dark control matrix in specific.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there is another level of consciousness at work here, like it's never been at work here before. I think the collapsing of the dimensions 3D, 4D, 5D is happening a little faster than I thought it would. And people are experiencing things, and Mike has especially been experiencing dreams that are just absolutely not from here.
No, and I wouldn't even call them dreams again, because, if you ever wake up in the middle of the night, or even if you went to like take a nap out in nature, if you have yourself a nice lounger or hammock or something, and you're not really asleep, you're kind of drifting back and forth. This state is something that is key to accessing other portions of our consciousness. Again, you could do it in an organized practice with certain parameters and procedures that you follow. But I've always found during my life that when I feel this one particular sense of a needing to just sort of lie down and chill, it's usually the guides or the higher self knocking the door and saying, "Hey, we want to share this with you." And so, what I've been seeing and experiencing is really more, I think, geared towards what's to come after the fall of the dark matrix. I was seeing in one situation just how vast everything truly, truly is. But our universe here, even though it is so vast, our one particular universe is a cell. And so I was asking Cindy, I said, I found myself pulled out of body so strongly. And I could see where so many of these other people that have shared their experiences that we may call prophets, if you're talking about it biblically. I found myself out of body, and all of a sudden, this and that, or near encounters, close encounters, where they see strange wheels like Ezekiel and strange lights. Yeah, absolutely. This is something that's always happened to us, but it's a regular thing. It is something that can be accessed at any time once we get outside of the Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga, the darkness of the Kali Yuga, sure, it's in low frequency. It's also in basically not understanding. It's a lack of information. It's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of knowing all those things that come from direct experiences. Everything in our world has been based on hearsay instead of direct experience. And now people are having more and more direct experiences, and they're trying to tell them not to believe their own direct experiences. Again, there's no way I could believe any of the theology that we're given because I know it's not true. I know it's not true. I've always known it's not true, really. But that comes also because of a connection to the higher self that may not be something that every person in the population has. Again, there are many that we call starseed lightworkers that literally choose to be here. One of my recurring themes is back in school, typically with dreams, and the realization that, hey, I don't have to go back to school. And what really I think it is all about is, again, realize that you don't have to do this. You've already done this. You're done with any sort of karmic debt. You're done with any sort of lessons to be learned of a more basic level. You're here because you chose to help others. And this is why I'm always consumed with how can I help more people? And well, what happens if we can't make videos? How am I going to keep helping people? Because, that's simply my purpose is to help heal and to teach. That's why I'm here. Without that purpose, there's no reason for me to be here really, except for the fact that well, yes, as an incarnating soul, we always can just soak in and enjoy the experience. That's a given. But really, like why Cindy and I are here is always been about this particular time and sharing and expanding others' consciousness so they recognize their true potential and they recognize that they don't have to go along with limiting belief systems and we don't have to go down a particular path that leads to all this death and destruction. And November is a month that they have a lot of events planned. But one thing that is most definitely happening is an expansion of consciousness. That's happening so fast that they can't control it. It's beyond their control. So again, they will do everything they can to try to control the narrative and to try to keep that expansion from happening.
They really will. They're going to do everything they possibly can to keep that expansion from happening and keeping people from um, making a difference. The dark side, that's their job. I mean, their job is to step in the way, step in the way of people trying to help and step in the way of people trying to make a big difference and bringing other people a different way of understanding life. I know that the type of healing work that we do is not accepted by mainstream. It's definitely not accepted by anything mainstream at all. So it's criticized a lot, and a lot of people think it's just fake. I mean, there's nothing to it. But we have seen and worked on enough people, I mean, thousands of people, to see and understand and know that the energy work that we do, the healing of the energy body that we do, makes a huge difference in a person's life, and it makes a big difference in um, how they go about their own healing, because we are our own healers. Ultimately, it's just there's these blocks that can get in the way. And once these blocks are removed, someone can see the light. Somebody can see the path in front of them and say, okay, I get it. This is what I need to do. The problem in lies where people are so traumatized that they don't even want to try. They don't even want to try to remove the blocks. And then I can understand. I mean, some of that might be higher self saying, okay, uh, you're not quite ready to have these blocks removed. So when I am removing them and I am repairing, I ask people if they want it removed or they want it repaired. And because their answer is the important answer. So I mean, there's a lot to a different way of healing. There's a lot to these different modalities of healing. But I tell you what, when it comes to, and I'm not a medical doctor, I have to state that. I don't know anything when it comes to medicine at all. I'm a healer. It's very different. I help people find the root cause of what's going on. But yeah, I mean, there's so much that can be done to help heal the mind, body, and soul, but you have to have them together. There's no band-aid that can be put on any one particular problem, because somewhere, somehow, that person's life was so interrupted and they were so broken and they were so torn, and they just simply they're not able to make the changes right now. And still sometimes people ignore it, and instead of doing 20 minutes of meditation and doing a mind body breath practice, they take the slip of paper with the writing on it for a pill. To them that's easier, but what they're doing is they're just backing up the energy into their body, and they're going to be creating more problems because those pills have big side effects too,
Yeah, and we had a horsefly attacking the dogs, which is again how the dark side would operate.
because the dogs are big
It'd
like
be,
horses.
yeah, so it was just chasing them literally all around. That was the earthquake you saw, as it was Sita bumping up against, where the
Poor
where
Sita.
where the iPad is mounted. So yeah, that's the type of thing that the dark side can do, is manipulate that which is available to manipulate. And obviously, we have the election coming, and that is occupying a lot of people's mind, as it's only days away, and we know there's going to be twists and turns with that. And again, we've shared with you what we've felt, and also what the Polish psychic has talked about, is he's even gotten a number, 51.7% for Trump, that gets reversed, and somehow Kamala is selected after the results come in. Things get changed. They'll do whatever they can that will elicit the biggest response, which they are trying to get. That's just what the system does. It's all about basically controlling the human consciousness. So, again, prepare as best you can, mind, body, spirit. I do think, obviously it would be a good idea, especially as the EU has literally come out and told its citizens to stockpile food and to have preparations put together, because they might be finding themselves on a war footing, with possible disruptions, including the grid and everything going down. This is all to be expected in this time. I think what happens is we get that boy cry wolf syndrome, where you have things happen, but then they don't happen to the biggest extent, and then people get this feeling like nothing ever really happens. Well, look to life. If you are anywhere close to the front in war, you cannot say things don't really happen. To Gaza, how about the people in Gaza? Nothing really happens. These ignorant statements are done by people that are usually, unfortunately, under the substance control parameters, whether it's legal or illegal, drugs, or even just simply, lower frequency foods and lifestyle. It's been a concerted effort to keep our consciousness down, and yet they can't do it. They could do it with some people, and some people are willingly giving away so much of their human potential. But at the same time, there's too many people waking up to the fact that this has all been an illusion the whole time. I do think, as we've always gotten from the guides have never said that there won't be a WW3. They've just simply said that every past cycle ends with a global war with the control system. So it's what they've done before. They still have enough under their control to trigger it. So we should prepare for it. It may not last very long. In fact, I do think that what is going to be able to be manufactured by the control system is far less than what they would desire. I just think they're losing their grip too fast, and they're losing it all at all levels, all around them. They still have puppets, but so much is getting exposed now that the next level of puppetry is being exposed ahead of time. So it just doesn't feel like they're going to be able to hang on too much longer. But at the same time, for us, what do? Well, we got to hang in there, and recognize that this is going to be a challenging time, but at the same time, it might not be as long as the control system wants.
Mm-mm. No, and every time the dark side gets involved, the light always overtakes it anyhow. It's just a matter of getting through it. It's like, oh my gosh, here comes the darkness. Hold on tight, because the light's going to do something to override. It absolutely will. It's about us being ready and prepared for that override, which can be difficult. So, I think we're in a very precarious situation coming up with this selection that we have going on. Very precarious, and we all need to hope for the best, but prepare for some instability. Now, the way we can prepare for instability, because I like to talk to the star seeds directly, is be sure that you are grounding, and because what you do matters. Your energy goes out to the ether. Your energy goes out to the whole entire world. You know, we are a reflective universe. So whatever we do is going to come back to us. So you want to be sure every action you make is an action that you are ready to face yourself.
Yeah, and what I was going to share before I got distracted by the dogs being attacked by that horsefly, that was just like making such an effort to just continually sting them, was that I was seeing like the edges. I was seeing myself travel. I was traveling. I mean, I was feeling myself lifting so much out of body. It was like wild and just rapidly ascending, and then heading on out to the depths of space where stars that were distant all of a sudden come close, and seeing even like the seams of our known universe. It looked like seams to me in this reality. And, again, Cindy said, well, our reality is such that, yeah, it is one cell. Our entire universe is just a cell. It's one single cell. And they don't want that cell being bled into by another universe. And in effect, the reality is that the entities that we know of as the Draco are not even really truly originating from here. They actually originated in another universe and basically used a portal. They opened up a portal to bridge into this universe from a different universe. And those are the beings also that constructed the AI system that is really the AI that they're introducing to humanity openly. It's always been here. And it didn't originate on Earth. No, it didn't even originate in our galaxy, or didn't even originate really in our universe. It's again coming in from another universe, which is just a simple cell in the bigger scheme of things. But this is not the natural order. The creator of this universe did not intend on this to happen, to have entities from another universe bleed into this one. So the creator of this universe is helping us to transcend this. And yes, it is absolutely, in so many ways, a battle of light against the darkness. And the sun, the light that's coming from the sun, is truly a relay for the creator. And it is that which is awakening the gnosis through the information that it's bringing to our cells and our DNA. This is the number one reason why they put the clouds up there, the fake clouds. This is also why they've told you to lather on the sunscreen so you won't get the downloads. Yes, also, a lot of the sunscreens cause cancer. This is a secondary part of it. It's really secondary. What we think of as the big reveal, that they want us sick and making money for big, industry. Let's just leave it there. That's really secondary. I mean, that's what controls the greedy politicians and corporate executives. Yet, really, it's secondary. They can't have us living long, healthy lives. If we live 1,000 years, everything is going to be discovered, even by those individuals that are maybe not as swift as others. You would still have enough time to figure out, hey, there's something really wrong with this paradigm. Especially think about it in terms of Al Gore's predictions. We've already seen they weren't true. We're not all buried under Arctic waters right now at this point in time. And in fact, we can clearly see that there's technologies involved where it's all supposed to be natural cycles. The one natural cycle they can't stop is the awakening.
That's right. They cannot stop Mother Nature any more than they could stop that daisy from breaking through the cement, the concrete pad. It's, nature is going to find a way. We just need to step into our own power and do not let the darkness just crack you. Don't let it happen. Stay very grounded and realize that your energy that you're putting out into the universe will reflect back to you. So we want to keep that in mind.
Absolutely. So they're trying to start wars in any way they can between nations, between different apparent races, and also ideologies. All these things are just tools of division because as long as we keep fighting ourselves, we won't look at the real controllers. But again, the awakening is happening. So recognize that, keep pushing forward. The other thing that I was touching on before is you will find some saying that there's challenges coming, and don't focus on them, keep your vibrations high. Yeah, absolutely. You should be aware of them, because if you were ignorant to the things going on in the world, you might find again that bombs are flying at your door, or there's life-threatening things happening around you and you're unprepared, or that you didn't store up food, or you didn't have seeds, and you might find that you and your family are literally facing tougher times and not realizing the scope of things. So you need to be aware. And again, if we're aware, it doesn't do any good to keep that knowledge to yourself. You should spread the awareness and try to do it in a way that doesn't lower frequencies. And that is a tricky act. And that has been the biggest challenge for Cindy and I, is getting people to prepare in every way, spiritually first, really, but also physically, emotionally, mentally, and yet don't lower the frequency at the same time. I think those that are giving false hope in places that we shouldn't put our hope are really doing a disservice. If they keep saying, "Hey, wait, don't worry, don't worry," the guy on that white horse he's right around the corner there, and that white horse never comes, and you're wondering, why didn't that white horse ever come? I was putting all my eggs in that cart, eggs in that basket. I was putting all my faith that this was a true message, and then that message turns out to either not be true or to be off base. And where are you? You have nothing. And this is exactly what they want to do. They don't want us preparing. They don't want us moving forward in the greater understanding. They certainly don't want us sharing that this is a divide and conquer tactic. They don't want that. They want you that are awakening to not speak up. Another way they could get you to not speak up and share the info is by simply saying, by sharing the info, you're lowering your frequency. So those that understand frequency are awakening to the fact that, this is a spiritual battle, which is a frequency battle. But if you don't tell your neighbor, hey, there's a train coming around the corner and you're on the tracks, what good does that do?
You're not going to have a neighbor to help you, is what's going to happen. So we have to think of all the things and simply do our best. And I know that family can turn a blind eye, but at least try. Just do your best. Allow them to turn a blind eye. Do what you can for yourself. Grab a couple extra bags of rice or whatever when you're out, and at least take care of you and your family.
Yes, absolutely. This world will tempt as everyone it possibly could tempt in whatever way it can, in order to get you to become part of the system. And sometimes all it takes is basically not opening your mouth in certain ways to become part of the paradigm that we're actually fighting.
Indeed.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.